Welcome back. We have a special edition, and we're introducing Dr. Lorenzo Pace to the show. How are you today?
Excellent, man. How are you?
Doing fantastic. We'd love to hear all about the 20-year celebration of the triumph of the human spirit that's coming up this Saturday, October 24th.
So you got 1,000 years to listen?
Yes.
Yeah, well, man, hey, this has been a long journey, and in 1991 they discovered they was digging a federal office building in downtown Lower Manhattan, and there was bones just coming up from digging from the back hole. It was coming up. Bones kept coming up. They said, "Wow, what is this?" You know. And then our first black mayor, David Dinkins, stopped the federal government from continuing to dig in it, and they discovered that this was the oldest burial ground in America, and they had to stop the project and do archaeological research to find out what's going on. And in that process, they discovered 427 African American slave bones, the founding of this big city of New York. And so, in that process, they had to acknowledge a monument. And so, they have a call out for an artist to design a monument to honor these enslaved Africans that were discovered there. And I got the call. And it took me a 10-year project. It took me 10 years to build, 5 stories high, 300 tons. Now it's in the most expensive area in the city because New York City was a boundary line, and the Canal Sea was a boundary line, and they couldn't bury their dead inside the city limits, and so all the Africans could bury their dead outside. So now in this area sits the first African-American Supreme Court judge, Thurgood Marshall. Also, the big administrative building is named after the first African-American mayor, David Dinkins. The mayor's office is half a block from the site. 5 blocks from that side is Wall Street, the financial district. 4 blocks from there is the World Trade, where the bombing took place. So this is now, it's the most expensive land probably in the country because of this so-called historical area. So that's kind of like the basic overall where we at. And so, actually the site was born out of protest. And obviously, the African American community was up in arms about the site itself. They felt that nothing should be built on that site. But of course, the federal government say, "Hey, this is a very expensive land. We're going to build it." And so they build it. And so inside the building, there are about 5 different artists who acknowledge the site as a burial ground. Outside the building, there's a grave spot where they took the 427 bones, took it to Howard University, did archaeological research, and so they have a whole book on the remains of the people that come from that site. So that's kind of like a general overall where we are now. We're celebrating the 20th year of that monument being in place.
Well, I know they just renamed one of the streets, Black Lives Matter streets. Can you talk about anything around that?
Yes. The last month, the borough president, Gail Brewer, decided to select 15 artists to actually do Black Lives Matter Boulevard in the entire street and name it from Center Street, which is a major street here in New York, to Black Lives Matter Boulevard. So now we're celebrating the Black Lives Matter Boulevard Street and also the 20th year celebration. So, and I call it what we call in America the Great Awakening. Why I say that? Because one, we're dealing with 3 financials at the same time. One, the financial district is right down the street. We're up against a real challenging financial problem here in the city. Not only the city, but in the country. Also, we are dealing with the violence itself, and then we're dealing with the race issue. America has never really dealt with a race issue, and that's been the real crux of what we are right now in terms of after this George Floyd was killing, here at Ghana, here in New York, Breonna Taylor, I mean, we just go on and on. America has to deal with a race problem. And that's all coming at one time right now. The pandemic, the virus, and the economic, and then the race. So I call it the Great Awakening. That's where we're at.
Well, it sounds definitely worth celebrating. How can people view, attend, or get behind this event coming up?
Well, we're hoping a bit like you could maybe set up a Zoom session and deal with the program itself. That's what we try to do. I know Mike might have some information on that. We try to set up a Zoom session. I don't know if do you all do Zoom?
Yes, we do.
So that might be a path for us to consider. Actually, you know, the complexity of this changed dramatically. Back in February, when we were planning this, we were going to have thousands of people and live music and tents and food and African traditions. We're now very restricted in this time of the COVID. So the limit is on 50 people to be able to attend the event. So it's going to be very intimate and tight there. But we're looking at streaming it and making it available in video and recording and follow-up afterwards. Again, kind of as the showcase, because this is the 20th year, but the expectations are that when things are clear and we're able to assemble and gather again, that we're going to do this in fine full fashion, hopefully early in 2021.
And every year after.
And every year after. There will be a proclamation made on the 24th declaring that day Triumph of the Human Spirit Day for New York City. So we intend to do this every year and have panels and workshops and traveling tours and just a whole lot of education going on to enlighten people for what the facts are about this country and how we can heal from those wounds and move forward as one people.
Well, certainly very important. It's a vital year for all of us. We look forward to getting behind it. That's Michael Katowski, and we've been joined by Dr. Lorenzo Pace. Is there a website people can go for the start of general information on this?
Well, that's my website.
Yes, LorenzoPace.com. We'll give you a foundation. We're really bootstrapping this, so we're trying to pull up and build our own Wix page for a website here, and it's probably going to be more in follow-up than it is as likely to be orchestrated beforehand. So LorenzoPace.com in the meantime, and you've got my contact information on the press release. So I'll handle anything that comes.
Absolutely.
And also, when you look at LorenzoPace.com, you see my 4 children's books. The first children's book is The Lion and the Law, which was debuted at the same time the Monument came out. Then you see my children's book on Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and Martin Luther King. So it's a set. So I hope that you can get the set and introduce your audience to the set. And in that book, the first book, The Lion and the Law, you'll see the monument and historical context of the monument and about the African burial ground. So are you in Los Angeles or San Francisco?
Yes, we are. We're in Los Angeles, beaming nationwide.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my brother used to live in Los Angeles, in the Bay Area.
Well, great. We'll spread the word. And Michael, any information, please follow up with us on it. Again, our guests have been Dr. Lorenzo Pace, Michael Katowski, and it is Saturday, October 24th, the 20-year celebration of the triumph of the human spirit. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We look forward to following up and doing more with you. Thanks again.
Thank you, Jay.
All right.